Hey everyone, Gabriel Nassif, also known as Yellow Hat. Here it is. And this is the start of a new YouTube channel. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And the idea is just to try to record daily, something around 10 minutes videos, and just talk about this and that, whether it's tournaments I've played, a deck, a specific matchup, a story. Like it could be anything. I'll see how it goes. I'll see what people like to see. I'll see what you guys say in the comments and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of exciting. Something I've been wanting to do for a while. I never got around it. Who knows? Maybe it won't even last a week, but we'll see. And for the first ep, I'm going to be talking about this weekend's regional championship I played in Naples, go over the tournament, and a few other things, the decks I played, my results, who did well, etc., etc. So yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I've been playing for a long time now, 25 years or more, and I'm in the Magic Hall of Fame. I have 10 Pro Tour top eights, two wins, one individual and one in teams. I'm a streamer. I stream most days on Twitch, and I also have another YouTube channel where you can find my Twitch VODs edited for people who want more gameplay. But this is going to be more kind of whatever, really, as I said. So we'll see. I'm kind of excited. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And let's get into what happened this weekend in beautiful Naples, Italy. So this was the prizes for the tournament. The goal for most players was to get in that top 36 to get an invite for Pro Tour Amsterdam that's going to be held in about a month. And you can see $16,000 for first place down to $300 for 64th. I had a slightly different goal, very ambitious, but I was trying to get top two to clinch my ticket for the World Championship. I'm not qualified yet. I think if I just make day two in the last Pro Tour of the year in Amsterdam, I will be qualified. But that was my kind of unrealistic goal. I actually didn't came. I actually didn't come that far off. I made top 16, even though I was kind of out of contention round one of day two. Um, so yeah, that was the goal. Congrats to everyone who made it to the Pro Tour and had a good finish. It was a big tournament. 807 players, I believe, registered and competed. 176 made day two, and this was the metagame breakdown of day one. Teamer Analyst being the most played deck, Azorius Control in second, and Esper Midrange only in third. A big change from the Pro Tour, where Esper Midrange was 30% of the field. So, slightly different metagame. Bros Convoke still really popular, and kind of surprising. Ben Toxic rounding out the top five. I think a lot of people defaulted to that deck. Maybe players who qualified via limited or weren't super confident in their abilities to play long matches, grindy matches. I was actually coming from the airport, taking the bus, and I ran into a German Magic player, and that was his exact kind of situation. He qualified. He was more of a limited player, and he decided to pick up Ban Toxic and try to get as good as possible with that deck. Aggressive deck, shorter rounds, more time to think, and more time to maybe also rest between rounds. That's the picture, and that was the conversion rate for day two, meaning percentage of players playing an archetype that made day two. I did some quick math, and there was 176 players who made day two, 807 who started, so 21.8% was average. So basically, any deck um, that has over 21.8% did well. I don't have the exact win rate, so it doesn't tell the whole picture, but basically, yeah, anything that had over 22% did okay on day one. You see the big winners, Boros Convoke and Ban Toxic, as well as the 4 and 5 color Legends deck. I'm not very surprised about the Legends deck or the Ban Toxic deck. I thought these decks were quite solid. I will say I've been kind of a hater, naysayer, whatever you want to call it, of Boros Convoke. I felt like that deck was a tier under some of the other tier one decks. and I was surprised to see it do that well, especially as I don't think it has a great matchup against either of the two most played decks, Blue White Control and Temur Lands. So that might just be a shift of the meta, people kind of getting into the arms race to win the slower, grindier matchups, and hence, Convoke doing much better than I expected to do, and then Toxic also doing really, really well. As for my tournament, I decided to play Blue White Control, the same deck I played at the Pro Tour. I was really liking the deck after the Pro Tour. I thought it was great. I was a little less confident going in, but it was the decks I had the most reps with, and I still think the archetype was quite good. I thought my list was well tuned. You can see it on screen here. I think that a lot of people adopted pretty similar lists. And I wouldn't change too much. I might make that tomorrow's video where I'll go a little deeper into the deck I played at the RC and what I would change going forwards. There's still a few players who have their regional championships coming up, so yeah. And you can see my path. I actually got paired against Andrea Mengucci round one, lost. I had kind of a rough start. I had 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw after round 5, meaning I had to win out to make day 2, which I did. I won 4 in a row after playing pretty poorly against Mattia Rizzi in a mirror match, kind of punting away game 3, I believe. And then on day 2, unfortunately, I lost round 1 against Raul Avoskan, who was the winner of the recent tournament in Prague. Actually, I did commentary for. That was a tough match against 5 Color Legends, and I went all run after that, and I went 5 in a row to finish 13th. Good for $2,000. The PT invite I already had. I fell short of making top 8 and having a chance at the top 2 for World Championship. It was also really tough to just win that last round against my opponent, who probably only needed a draw to qualify for the PT. So that was tough, sitting across him and kind of unironically crushing someone's dream. But my slot does pass down, so it means someone else got their PT invite because I beat Carlos. So yeah, it was it's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I was happy with my results. Obviously, top 2 was unrealistic, but I felt good about my deck and thought maybe there was a chance if stars align. I think I just didn't play well enough on day 1 to get there. That was the top 8 of the tournament, including 2 French players. Unfortunately for them, they fell a little short of the World's Invite as well. Rémi Boudier lost in the quarters. Elliot Bousseau lost in the semis. And in the finals, clinching their slot for Worlds were Matteo Ferreira, aka the Manland, and Ivan Enrico. So congrats to them. You see midrange prevailed in the end. As for midrange against Golgari midrange, yeah, congrats to them. Congrats to the top 8, everyone who qualified for the Pro Tour. And there was as well an RC in Japan, as well as in the Australian region, ANZ. So yeah, lots of action. You can go on MTG Mail to see more results. So yeah, going back to the deck I played, this was it in its arena form. It's not too far from what I've played at the Pro Tour. I've been tuning the list and I quite like it. I might go more into detail tomorrow and talk about the matchups, the sideboard plans, all that good stuff. Kind of a quick deck tech of the list for people interested. I will say I would not recommend playing this deck unless you've got a lot of reps and think you can play it fast. You pretty much have to play speed magic the whole time. You barely have time to think about any decisions. And it's kind of, I feel, a problem in competitive constructed in general with 50-minute rounds. Back in the day, we used to have 55-minute rounds and the game got more complex. The game go longer. Also with the mulligan rules, it means less non-games. You don't have as many games where someone misses there for a land drop and the game kind of ends really fast because of the better mulligan rules, the way they design the cards. And I think it's true for most constructed formats, and this one in particular. You see the most played decks, blue white control, teamer analyst. The mid range mirrors can be pretty tricky and long as well. So I'm hoping they go back to 55-minute rounds. I would be happy to play one less round in most tournaments and have extra 5 or 10 minutes, because I think it's getting to a point where you can see the number of draws specifically this weekend when you see at the last Pro Tour, uh, players like Shota Yasuka, considered as one of the fastest player in the world, getting 2 draws. Someone like Reed Duke, who basically almost never gets a draw, getting a draw as well. Yeah, I think there's a problem when that starts to happen, and it's kind of unfortunate when it becomes a concern during deck choice to be okay. I shouldn't play control because of time constraint. I think it's unfortunate. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope that at least at Worlds, since World is only 7 rounds, they'll give us more time. I say us, hoping I qualify, but they'll give players at Worlds more time. A couple other issues I wanted to talk about this weekend. As always, the judges are incredible. We're really lucky at the regional championship level, pro tour level, and in most events have just great judges. But the software didn't work very well. MTG Melee, there was 2 Lorcana tournaments at the same time, and I think it was kind of predictable. I'm not a tech expert, but I believe you can get extra server space when you know that's going to happen. So it kind of was, MTG Melee was not functioning well game one because there's too many people on the website, and I feel like that was predictable and didn't make for the greatest players experience. So hopefully in the future, they they address that concern, and we don't have these problems anymore. Especially if there's going to be bigger and bigger Magic tournaments, and was a platform that's supporting other games. I think the Tour kind of tournament had 2,000 players each. There was almost 1,000 players in Naples. So yeah, another issue that's really unfortunate is that a player who got caught cheating on camera at a tournament in Prague that I was doing commentary for, actually, and got disqualified there, was allowed to compete in the regional championship this weekend. It seems that maybe Wizards has kind of given up, and it's really bad for the game. It sends the wrong message, obviously, and I hope things go back to a way where they start tracking these things again, and they're more strict about um, who's allowed to compete, and it puts an unfair burden on the players who have to play against these players caught for cheating. So hopefully this is addressed. But yeah, I think this is it for this first episode of Daily MTG. I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you who want to watch me play, I stream every day or pretty much every day on Twitch, twitch.tv/yellowhat. I'll put the links underneath that for people who want to check out my kind of YouTube channel, which is mostly edited VODs from my Twitch streams. The data is cut up. It's segmented in which decks I've played, and my editor I think does a good job at that. So if that's something you might be interested in, I'll also put the links in all that good stuff. But yeah, as I say, as always, because that's what I say. I also have a podcast, and I say that at the end of the podcast. It's called Midweek Metagame. We record every couple of weeks. Um, Saving all the plugs for the end of the video, people still hear. But yeah, as always, even though it's the first step, thank you so much for watching Daily, and hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you later. Take care.